Perfect. 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 Perfect.
What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. Yes, I was slightly unprepared. Well, some last minute tomfoolery. What's going on? I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's doing good. What is today? Thursday. On this throwed off Thursday evening, I hope everybody is fine and dandy and eats lots of candy. Snap. Again, if you don't know what the den is, oh shit. Misconstrued. Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is a conversation, a situation, a friendly arena where we all can be ourselves. And, even if we don't agree on the topics of the evening, we can still have a civil conversation. That's what's wrong with the world today. That people can't have civil conversations anymore. Everybody has to be mad. Everybody has to be angry about everything. And everybody wants to be beefing and all that other good shit. But hey, it is what it is. So tonight we're going to talk about a capacity for violence. Is it necessary to be able to be violent when needed? Or should we rely on the people who are employed and paid to prevent the violence, to keep us safe, or whatever, they're supposed to do? So let's see what friends in the den are joining us this evening. But before we get into that, make sure you guys follow the Den on all the available platforms. Of course, you're already here. Of course, you're here, on the YouTube channel. And make sure if you're on Facebook, check out the Den Show Live. I think I don't know if that's the page. Yeah, and then we have the Den actual group, and the Twitters and the IGZs. So let's get into some conversation and talk about the situation. We have Mr. Rabbit. We have Heidi crossing people over, doing layups and stuff. And we have I Gave You Power. And see Mr. 335 in the building, holding it down. So here is the deal. U of H is the most prestigious. It is the Harvard of Houston, if you will. So my thing, though, is you have to think about it. Violence. Recently, if you look at statistics, if you look at, overall numbers since, they've been recorded. I think that was somewhere in the late 1800s that they actually started recording violent crimes. And I'm sure that the statistics weren't very accurate then, so I'm sure that it was probably significantly more than what they stated. But you take a look at the numbers, and even with what they did have, the information they did have, they have steadily been on a decline since, again, they've been recording violence, crimes, and things of all that type of stuff. So, white persuasion, what's the motherfucking deal? But the thing about it is, do we need to? It's America where we love the guns. Excuse me. Especially in Texas, if I say something about we don't need guns, they'll take away all the stuff. They'll ruin my channel. They'll shut me down. They'll flag me. But do we need it? What is the likelihood of someone running? Because you see the stuff, the posts all the time. People showing their arsenals, if you will. A variety of different things. So you sit here and you wonder and you ask, well, is it necessary for us to have the ability to be violent? And you see, in my opinion, I don't know if it's necessarily MMA or other underlying reasons, which we could get into, that'd be a whole other Den show itself. You see more and more people going and joining these self-defense classes, taking up MMA, taking up all kind of combat sports. I mean, they're more popular than ever. Again, like I say, it could be because of just the popularity of the sport, which I don't know how popular it really has been. I think there's a few individuals that make it popular, but I think overall it's not as popular. But hey, what's the motherfucking deal? J&J, a.k.a. Ray. What's the motherfucking deal? Jaja and Persuasion. I see you going on a hard rant there. I'm taking it that the Rockets won and Mr. Mo City Bo. Which Jay is. You have a theory about gun control that will solve everything. Interesting. I just saw that little thing, a thing about Swedish gun control, and it was very interesting. They don't play around over there with the guns. Oh, he dropped a 50-point triple-double? Word? I'm going to be honest. I took a fucking power nap earlier, and it gave me no power. So I gave you power. Your fucking name is a lie. That's awesome. He did that on them boys on the Lakers. That's what's happening. But a capacity for violence, man. So, I'm saying, all these things, all the numbers say, hey, that we need less this. We have protection. We have probably more law enforcement than ever. The numbers, like I said, violence have been declining. Even the numbers where people are saying, oh, it's a huge problem with the rapes and the domestic violence and all these things. Numbers are showing won't say a drastic decline, but a steady, slight decline year after year after year. I don't know if it's because the women are becoming tougher. I don't know if it's the non-binary stuff. I don't know if maybe they don't know what sex people are, so they don't know who's beating up who. But it is what it is. Wise, I see you. What's the motherfucking deal? And so, what am I sitting on here? But all joking aside, is there a need to have a capacity of violence? And I keep saying this, it makes me think of that movie, A History of Violence, which was an all right movie, came out a long time ago. And I think, and I think that it is necessary, man. I think that it is extremely necessary. 65% since 1960. And that's the thing. That's the funny thing, because people still push the violence and the crime angle of everything, that, oh, it's just so bad. It's so bad. Again, and a lot of this stuff is hype. And this is why I say slowly but surely, I'm tuning out more and more and more, even things that I enjoyed. And even things that I like, I'm starting to tune more and more stuff out because of, again, once I read it yesterday, the comment about the diet, and it's not just what you eat, it's what you listen to, it's your music, it's what you read, because everything is created, everything is this big system to hype shit up and make it worse than what it really is. Because honestly, for most people, the overwhelming majority of people, if they didn't have a TV or a radio that was telling them that this is going on or that is going on, exactly, that this is going on, that most people would be probably pretty happy with their lives. They weren't worried about, what the Kardashians have, or trying to keep up with the Joneses, or this person way across the world in another state or in another country has this house that's so amazingly lavish that I'll probably never afford. Now I'm a piece of shit. Like, if most people just minded their own business, they would definitely be happy. But so my thing though is this, but ultimately we do live in a world where things do happen. And I do believe that it is necessary to still be able to protect yourself, because things happen. There's a lot of things that take place that are never documented. I mean, I'm not big on the club scene. I haven't been in years, but and the reason I don't is because I always seem to get into some shit, even when I'm trying to be cool. Motherfucker get drunk and usually like either be a motherfucker with the little man syndrome or something. He start talking crazy, and it's only so much crazy talk you can allow, and you can try to be dismissive of it and shit like that. And you got a lot of motherfuckers who talk big because they keep a little something on them and shit like that, and you just really try to avoid certain situations. And then I'm really just not in for the club vibe. It's just a lot of thirstiness, a lot of bullshit that goes on. It's just such a fraudulent environment. I don't really enjoy those kind of scenes. But regardless, that's not necessarily what it's about. But things happen. And if you're going to sit around, I don't care how many more cops they add. I don't care how many more, cameras and the Nest doorbell things and all that shit that you add. There will always be situations that will occur. There will always be people who are a little bit more screwed off. What did they say? It was something I was checking out the other day that really made me think about this. And it was like you have the sheep, and these are the people who who lack any ability to be violent. They're just nice people, just your everyday citizens. I saw somebody yesterday. I was just like, man, I wish I could be in that mind state. I had to run by the grocery store and grab something. And he was getting out of his car. I was going back to the car. And he's like, hey, how you doing, sir? I'm like, it's all good. How about yourself? Man, life couldn't be better. I'm living on Easy Street or something, he said. And it was just like some little whatever. I was like, wow, I wish I could walk around that fucking happy unnecessarily. And you can. You just have to decide to be that happy. But, I normally don't carry myself in that kind of mood. So my thing is, but there are things that will happen. There are things that you always have to be cautious of. But it's saying the sheep. These are people who are always happy, who have no ability to violence. They don't understand it. They just couldn't comprehend themselves ever doing something like that. And those are the people that are in the most danger, because you have the second group of people. And the second group of people are the wolves. And the wolves are the people who pray. And I'm not talking about get on their knees and pray. We're talking about the people who pray on the weak, who see any advantage and they want to take advantage of it. They see any opportunity that they can, they take advantage of it. And they'll seize that and they'll attack. In any inkling of a weakness, they're going to prey on that. They're going to try to go for the gusto. And my thing about that is there will always be those kinds of people. And it doesn't matter what risk they're taking. Like I say, you can put all these safeguards in place. When you encounter people like this, there's still going to be an amount of time before law enforcement arrives. You still have to get to a phone. And, now we live in this day and age of nobody wants to help. They just fucking record every fucking thing. Like I say, it's just, I see what you did there, Heidi. And exactly, sheep get slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Heidi. It's because, when you see the random black guy, and there's not a lot of us out here, especially that look like me, especially where I'm at. And I don't know if they're concerned about, maybe I'll just be nice to this guy and maybe he won't start a problem. So I don't even know. But here's my deal though. You have the wolves, and the wolves, again, like I said, they're out to eat, and that's what they're here. They're here to prey on people. They're here to take advantage of everything that they can. And then you have the third type of people, or the third type of person, and they call that the sheepdog. And the sheepdog is a person who can control, their capacity for violence. They're not out to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yes, 450 Portugal. The rest, I ain't talking sports in here, goddammit. Damn it, you distracted me. You have the sheepdog, and those are the people who protect the sheep from the wolves. You know what I mean? But the thing about that is, how many sheepdogs are there? How many wolves are there? I think the wolves outnumber the sheepdog, and I think the sheep outnumber everybody. And as long as there is food in the vicinity, as long as there are sheep, the wolves will come out. Maybe at night, maybe a day, who knows? But they will continue to be on the prowl. And so my thing about that is you have to, let me say a purge. See, I don't fuck with the club in the play. Exactly. And that's what I say, man. It's not my vibe. Like if I did do something, a lounge or something of that nature is more my type. But again, I'm not trying to be nowhere where it's a bunch of youngsters and a bunch of alcohol, a bunch of tomfoolery, and there's a whole, like I said, there's a whole list of other things that we will get into as to, why I don't really fuck with the club. Let me say that right there and say never got screen creeped out right now past 5. But I agree with the more media access and things like that, man. But yes, it's windy now, because of the fucking the breezeway and the fucking dilly dally. So, but if I blow away, well, I didn't drown the other day when all the rain was there. So if I blow away, well, you know what it is. Bill O'Brien is the shepherd. He has everything under control, or he's sleeping while the wolf's in the chicken coop. But again, but seriously, this, you have to think about what's really going on. You have to think about the life that we live. And I see, White Street mentioned Chicago. And Chicago's like always the go-to spot. And a lot of stuff does happen in Chicago. A lot of unnecessary stuff. But I think that's the whole I won't say it's an anomaly. I think that's a different situation. I don't know what Chicago's main industry is, if they have one or had one or whatever it is. Because, most major cities have something going, except for Miami. I think Miami was built off like cocaine. Miami was built off cocaine. Houston got a little bit of everything. LA, what is LA? Fucking fashion and crip walking. That's what they got out there. New York, fashion, big business. Was it real estate? A lot of fancy shit going on. Chicago, I think, was what it got big because of the World Fair or something like that. And a lot of people came for the World's Fair, and then they end up staying. Yes, porn in LA. There you go. Miami, LA got Hollywood and all that other shit. So the deal is, though, getting back to the violence and all that other stuff, the deal is you do have to have the ability to protect yourself. And the thing is, you do all these things, and it was funny because I think it was an episode of Rogan where they were talking about, I forgot, he had somebody on there, an economist on there, and I wrote his name down. I can't remember it right now. Real smart guy. He was talking about some shit that was way above my level of understanding. But I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to get there. So my thing is, he was talking about, guys who go into, or people who practice, combat sports or combat trainings, like, hey, because the percentages are so low of people, getting attacked and things like that, that you really put yourself in more danger, by training in combat sports. You're actually doing more harm to yourself because you're putting yourself directly in the combat, directly into the situation, than the likelihood of you end up getting into a situation where you would ever really need it, because we were saying that the numbers are so low. But still, is it worthwhile to be trained, to be have an expertise in some type of martial arts, self-defense, self-protection, or, take the risk of going without it and seeing if it's worth it? I mean, to have that risk of the possibility, the likelihood that you won't be attacked. I mean, it could happen. Everybody's always so scared and upset about it because it just, the numbers are always, you hear on the news, somebody was robbed here, somebody was robbed there. And you're talking about an area where it's, it could be 5-6 million people. And you're talking about 2 or 3 robberies, or 2 or 3 incidents that took place. And again, like I say, the statistics say that you're all right. Well, that's a good point too. Again, like I say, so say it's a home invasion, and you have this combat training, or you have this firearms training, and you have to have that capacity for violence. 'Cause it's a lot of people though who they have guns and they go to the shooting range but you'll be surprised. There's a lot of motherfuckers that will freeze up when the time comes, and then there's people that you would never expect. There's people that you would never think would be about that action, but something cuts on and these motherfuckers snap in action. They, man, look, and so I think that's the deal. You got to look at it like that. But then I look at certain things, and I talk about, and again, I can talk about something from a bias, from my perspective, because, it's me. I do what I want to do. It's my den. I do what I want. But no, seriously, okay, so like my situation, and this is something I think should be in consideration. But again, once you put yourself in that boat, you're kind of deemed an outcast. I believe that it should be looked at in a different way. But I look at, people who have felonies, people who have criminal backgrounds, and so they say, well, you can't get a gun, or you can't do this, you can't do that. So do these people, if they want to become regular citizens, do they not need protection also? Do they not need 8 seconds first and 1 at a time? So my thing is, do they not need protection also? Do they not need, if they've done their due, if they've paid their dues to society? And again, and I look at it differently because, if you're a person who's had a violent crime as opposed to somebody who just was doing some dumb shit, again, bias for myself, or your crime didn't involve some type of firearm or doing some type of activity with that, why do you get lumped in that same category? So you're no longer allowed to protect yourself? Because there was a situation when I was, dealing with some things, especially immediately after my situation, that somebody tried to break into my house. This was a couple of years back. And I just so happened to be, because where the way my house was and is this is before I moved to where I'm at now. The backyard, there was a back room, there's a door that connected directly to the outside. It was actually like more of a washroom type area, but I kind of converted it into a little office. And I'm always doing weird shit like that. And so they didn't quite break in, but they attempted to. And so as I'm sitting there, I see the fucking doorknob jiggling. And I have a laptop on my lap. My buddy in L.A., he had sent me a script he had just wrote. And I'm sitting there reading it. I'm going through it. And I hear, I'm like, hold on now, that ain't my old lady. She ain't off at this time. What the fuck is going on? So I take the laptop because I hear it jingling and wiggling. And I open up the fucking door because I'm like, well, shit, it's about to go down. And I see the motherfucker, they see me, they turn and they, take off running and go hop in the fucking car. And I'm trying to, catch them, but they get in and get out before I could, really get a hold of them. And I looked for that car for quite some time, man. I looked for that car for a long time. I was really, really hoping that would come because it was a dude and it was a bitch driving that motherfucker. And man, you don't understand. You don't understand. Because I was going to drag that motherfucker back into the house and beat the fucking brakes off their motherfucking ass. And telling people, hey, y'all need to come get this motherfucker. He on my property. You need to go ahead and handle this. But unfortunately, I didn't get my fucking hands on him. Wow. Word. Oh. Is it a tie game or is it a... No shit. They say fuck a tie. They trying to win. But again, like I say, it's a situation where I feel like everybody, if you've paid your dues to society, if you've been given a certain sentence and you say, okay, hey, this is what it is, this is what you've done, I feel like we need him to tie. But I feel like if you've done your sentence, you completed your sentence, then I think there should be some methods. And I know that there's ways that you can reapply for your gun rights, and they have to go through the governor and a bunch of other shit like that. But it's a process that is unlikely to succeed, But again, you don't need a gun to be violent, though. So I think in situations like that, ideally, you have to learn some type of combat. You have to learn some type of self-defense. You have to learn some type of protection because, even no matter what you do, and if you try to become a regular member of society, then, you still want to protect your family. You still want to make sure things are okay. And you have to. I mean, it is what it is because you can't rely. Like I say, if that situation right there that I was in, had I been waiting on the police or something like that, it would have never, ever happened. If it would have been a different situation, had this person came in with a fucking gun, caught me slipping or whatever else the motherfucker was, at what point would I have been able to call for help? I would have either had to handle the situation myself or been handled myself and come out with the L. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. My thing about that is just that I'm kind of curious as to what's going on here. Fuck y'all talking about these goddamn sports. Like I say, it's a situation that's very unfortunate, but me, I put myself in that, so I can't blame anybody for that. But I think that, this is my personal opinion. I think that people, once they've done their dues, should be allowed to, that was game time? Oh, word. Should be allowed to do what they want to do. I mean, not do what they want to do, what they need to do to protect themselves. Because again, it's supposed to be that whole Second Amendment deal. But I think that it's a situation where, I think that's the easy way. You get people out of the way because, the government eventually wants to start taking your firearms and stuff away. They don't want you to protect yourself. I've been telling our chiefs ain't it. Chiefs are not legit. So my thing is, you have to do what's in your power to keep yourself protected. And the thing about, that, like I say, with the government taking away things for felons and felonies and all that other stuff, they took away the gun emoji. Oh, stop. I ain't even realize. I guess I ain't used that bitch enough. But the thing about that is, yeah, man, we told y'all that yesterday that it was quite possible. I'm telling y'all, them dudes were not able. Look at who they played. They played. That's bullshit. Yeah, I remember somebody shooting a horse. So that's the last time I think I seen that bitch. But I think it was the Houston-Dallas thing. Oh, it's there. There it is. Hold up. Oh, got the pistol on deck. Got the revolver. But like I say, it's highly unfortunate because, who are the people, if the government was to go against its people, who are the people that are most likely to rebel? Well, it's people who've already broken the law. It's people who, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That's all I need to see. Go ahead and fuck that shit up. Again. And look, I had to change the conversation, goddamn. Look, I catch that bitch in traffic, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I got hands. What you talking about? Look, I could get out there hopping if I had TJ Yates with you can give me Heineke out there, man. I'm a ball, baby. You know what I'm saying? Those supposed to be water guns. They look like fucking. They look like pistol me. They look like some old Red Dead shit. But again, the internet doesn't have a capacity for violence. But I want to talk about this though. But I want to talk about why, people are becoming less and less violent. Why people want to sit here and say, hey, we don't need to do this. And I wonder, we talked about the last few days. We've talked about, gender biases. We've talked about, sexuality. We've talked about a few different things. We've talked about single parent has nothing to do with guns and violence, but and that was, to me, that's one of my favorite Malcolm quotes to say, be polite, but if a motherfucker put his hands on you, you put him in the grave, and that's the way I try to carry myself. Like I don't want to say I'm a nice person, because trust me, I definitely have my ways. You know what I'm saying? I definitely have my ways, but I'm polite. I think there's a difference between being kind or polite and being a nice person. And so I'm always respectful. Like I say, I always say that, I'll be way more respectful, because if you ever come at me sideways or you ever come at me in a manner in which I disapprove, I know in my heart that if I feel a particular way about you, or if I do something to you, that I know that I was always respectful. I was always extremely respectful about how I handle it. So if somebody comes at me crooked or comes at me sideways, I know that I was right in the way that I handled the situation. So I never second guess my conscience in matters like that. So stop putting mass shootings on TV, creates copycat. Yeah, I agree with that. That's the one thing I like about the Franco dude, because he doesn't put the names of folks on there and shit like that. But that's what it is. You let these losers, because if you look at them, they're all fucking losers, man. They go out and they have nothing else going for them. Life sucks to them. And the thing is, you just never know. You got to be careful with these fucking losers. And they fucking, I suck. I'm an incel. I ain't getting no ass. The hoes don't love me. My life is miserable at 17. I've gone through so much. Okay. And they fucking, want to upset the system. They really don't do nothing but, make a bunch of people unhappy. And it's unfortunate. Or so you say. You say, how'd you feel about Maxo Cream and all those other dudes getting arrested for that music? I didn't even see it. Which one? And that's the thing, that's the thing that'd be killing me. Like, I'm surprised that it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm not surprised that it doesn't happen more often. But they ain't got no sauce though. Oh shit, there goes Kenneth. Yeah. Things were going to get interesting till Kenneth showed up. But the thing about it is, that's what killed me. Like I said, I never understand that shit on rap videos, though. Like, especially if you, so they got arrested while they were shooting the video. Oh, okay. Interesting. And because here's the thing, motherfuckers always know when you shoot a fucking, oh yeah, no, that's going to get you. That's what I'm saying, my nigga. Like, come on, you got to be smarter than, that's why I just never understand. Like, if you got it, hey, cool. it's better to have it and not let a motherfucker know you got it. But motherfuckers like, that's a gun. You know what I'm saying? If you ever ran, oh yeah, you better run. But shit, they gonna get that footage and say, oh yeah, you was there. Oh yeah, you was there. Go ahead, we need that. Okay, yeah, you was there. So I'm telling you, he wasn't getting no pussy. That's what it was. That's why he lost it. Of course they're gonna use the video as evidence. That's exactly what they're gonna do. And that's what I say, man. It blows my mind. Like, I guess that's part of the the gangster card or whatever. Like I say, knocking anybody do whatever the fuck they want to do, but especially if you talk about you got a record or you got this, that, and the third going, and motherfuckers waving pistols, doing all this shit in the videos. But you can always say, oh, they were props, or they were whatever, they weren't real, or it is what it is. But it just it's gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's gonna be. It's because he wasn't getting no poussoir. He wasn't getting the girl he wanted. Wasn't giving it to him. That's what all these youngsters fucking do. But my thing anyway is, like I'm saying, with the shootings, with the violence, with all this stuff that's going on, and again, as we mentioned earlier, it's decreased significantly. You wonder, well, what do we do with the major situations that we are still having? Like I say, White President said, stop showing the fucking mass shootings because it's dumb. There's no benefit. Why give these people credit? Let them know that it happened, but what good does it do to show a mass shooter? Honestly, like, what is the benefit of it? Now that you mentioned it, what does it do? Dylan Roof probably got $1 million in GoFundMe or something. It helps those people who, depending on what the situation is, it helps those people fund motherfuckers. And then it helps the people who are losers figure, well, I'm a loser anyway. I'm not going to go out and be anything. At least I can take a bunch of people out with me and I'll be relevant to somebody. Again, there's no benefit in showing who it was. Nobody getting true, but nobody wins when you promote the shooter, when you promote their face, whatever the fuck it is. Nobody wins from that. Nobody benefits from that. I didn't get all the pool. You just had to have enough to keep you calm. So again, like I said, it is what it is. But what we're gonna get ready to do here is we're gonna open up the line here in just a second. It's gonna be available for everybody but Kenneth as usual. And we're gonna talk about violence. We're gonna talk about why you need to protect yourself. We're gonna talk about what you can do. And I was making a point earlier and I got distracted. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about earlier. When we were talking about, let me scroll back and see if I can bring that back. We were talking about, Apple. See, that's Apple doing it to y'all. See, but there, I'm glad you said that, 335. That brings me back exactly to my point that I was making. Apple, and those Apple users, we know about those Apple users. But is it the country that we're living in, how they're encouraging all this, and I'm not saying diversity is a bad thing, but it's always about equality. It's always about let's all be friends and let's all not hurt each other. Let's not say mean stuff to each other. Is this making us weaker as a country, more susceptible, or is it making people as a whole weaker and making them more susceptible to becoming sheep, becoming victims, becoming violent? I mean, what if America was ever invaded? You have probably more softer people now than ever. People don't want to hurt. We just want to be friends. We just want to be nice. We just want to save the world. Like, because you got men now that are becoming so feminized. You have women who are becoming emasculated, but there's still only so much a woman can do compared to a man of equal or more value in whatever skill set. So I think that it's a very interesting situation. See, that's the thing. That's how you should know you should be ashamed of yourself. If you in the same club as Kenneth, if you're in the Apple club with Kenneth, then you should be upset. Yeah, this whole toxic masculinity, which is what this country. How do I get these little country twangs? I think when I start getting tired, I start talking more country and shit. When it's this toxic masculinity that they call it, toxic masculinity, that that paved the way for this country. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for masculinity, if it wasn't for people coming in and conquering, because, you know, regardless if you feel it was good or bad, the way this country was made, the way Heidi, you won the chat today with that one. The way that this country was founded, you know, let's be honest, it's the men, it's the masculinity, it's that testosterone that has the fuel to go out and be adventurous, to go out and pave new land, to go out and find, you know, new ways of life. They're the hunters. You know, it's not estrogen. Women are built to be, you know, the thinkers, the nurturers, and thinkers in the sense of not saying that they're necessarily the smarter sex as a whole. I think that there are different aspects that women focus on better than men. I think men are better in like the STEM fields. I think women are better in, you know, more, what's the word? In fields that are more direct with people, I guess you would say. They understand feelings better. They understand emotional intelligence much better. You know, stuff like that. Oh, my name Kenneth. I'm lame. I don't know hoes want to text me. I'm going to be on Christmas break getting no action, watching the same movies over and over. So, you know, there's that. Hey, you may be right, Kenneth. You may be right. I may be an old head, you know, by your terms. I ain't even got no hoes and got more hoes than you. Ain't that a shame? You in high school. How you in high school with no hoes, man? Like, you like, just being in school, you get hoes by default. Like, on accident. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how you just, well, I would say how you just falling off in school, but you had to be on to fall off. So, you know, I'll be an old head. You know, I'm cool with that. So, I mean, whatever you say. Oh, he's waiting for the right. Oh, okay. He's saving himself for the right one. He's a man of high standards. Okay, I understand. But yeah, I'm going to open the line. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a discussion. But again, like I say, the softness of this society and the way things are going, again, you're making this country is becoming more and more susceptible to being overtaken. You know, you have these people who believe in these crazy methodologies, these crazy beliefs. And, you know, when you're talking about all this gender bending and all these other things, man, you know, my nose is itchy. If I had to stop hanging out with Joe. Joe got all the blow. You know, and the thing about Kenneth, which he was only so lucky. Kenneth is SSBBW and up. He's supersized and up. You know, he's fab and up. He's not with the BB dubs. They got to be fab and fabulous. So they might not even be. They might be non-binary BBWs that he may be with. Oh man, don't drink. Don't get the beer goggles. You will have regrets. You'll have regrets with an A, you know, to get the beer goggles on. But again, like I said, you know, man, it's, let me make sure we activate it here. It's like I say, it's a lot of these things, and I'm just saying this, you know, I'm trying to, you know, tie some of this stuff in. But again, it's like I say, it's the, and I did. Somebody asked when Man Up will return to the den, and I hollered and say maybe he may be back Saturday. Hopefully. So hopefully he can join us, and, you know, we always enjoy it. And man, make sure y'all check out, I'm going to put a link in the description. Matter of fact, I don't think I still have that window open. Because Man Up has another channel called What It Do 713. And where he talks, you know, he just, you know, just kind of speaks his mind on some things. So man, make sure y'all check that out. Let me see if I can pull a link up and drop it in the Deal Mobile. Let me see. What are the? Oh, man, I seen some shit the other day. Fucking Jaquan. That's some throwback shit. Like, that dude was like a 1.5 hit wonder. you know, and that was about that. That dude had a song about getting tipsy and he was underage, and that shit was like a big hit. The motherfucker was like 16 years old, talking about everybody in the club. One, how did you get your motherfucking ass in the club? Two, how the fuck is your ass in here drinking? How the fuck you in here getting tipsy? You gonna show me my fucking shit so I can see the goddamn channels? All right, cool, here we go. So I want to pick this up. All right, cool, there we go. All right, and all right, there we go, cool. That's the link to Man Up's other channel, What It Do, where he has some good conversation going on. Jay Dizzle, what's the motherfucking deal? And see, look, that's what I'm saying. And then look, Kenneth trying to steal jokes now. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I thought you were better than that, Kenneth. I mean, come on now. Yeah, I can see Kenneth having a future with a nice Colombian donkey. But, you know, there's that. So let's go ahead and open up the line, make sure everything is good and fine. Bow. So, again, I want to know, we're talking about, like, say, having a capacity for violence. We're going to talk about is the way that America is starting to groom people, the grooming the children, the way men have become more feminized, and even though, like I say, it was mentioned yesterday, I forgot who it was who had mentioned it, and, you know, that I think the transgender community is 0.03% or something like that. I think they said 0.03 or 0.05, something like that. A very, very small percentage, but how this is getting promoted to the forefront of the conversation. All right, let's see. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening? Is who?
What?
Water. What do you want, Kenneth?
All right, man. So look, but why you always gotta be so disrespectful when I call in to the Denline or the South Line, man? God damn.
Dude, Kenneth, you always be up to some shenanigans, Kenneth. So I can't trust you. So I gotta handle you a certain way until you show some consistency.
Man, can you show some consistency and unblock me on the Sub Sports Instagram?
No, man, because I don't want that shenaniganer you be sending me. I got to think about it. I'll debate it tomorrow.
All right, anyways. Man, what was I going to ask? Oh, yeah. I don't know if you caught the whole interview with the whole Kodak Black situation and the interview that he did on, I think, Hot 97. And it said this one dude named Ebro or something like that, and he tried to bring up a case that Kodak Black basically couldn't speak about. And the thing about that is, like, why are you asking him this question when you know he can't speak about this certain topic because it's probably going to get him in trouble? Like, I just saw that shit as some lame ass shit right there. But I want to know what you think about it. You know, like, what did you make of the whole question and shit? Like, do you think that was just the old head hating on the young dude trying to do his thing? I want to see what you think about it.
All right.
Because, you know, you are yourself, so I have to, you know, get that question.
Kenneth, get your ass some hoes. Anyway, I will answer the question. Now, this Ebro character, like I said, I saw something briefly because, like I say, man, I've been slowly but surely just tuning shit out. Like, just I'm probably gonna end up being a super square before it's all said and done because, like, I'm tuning the bullshit music out. I'm tuning the bullshit television out. Like, there's been times I've been wanting to get on the Red Dead more, and I don't think I'm too far away from beating it, but I haven't really been fucking with that lately. Like, I just been on some other shit because I'll talk about that more in a minute, man. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But Ebro is the same one who had the situation with 69, right? Where basically the NYPD sent him a fucking thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, the NYPD sent him some stuff about not Kodak Black case, but about 69's case. You know what I'm saying? Ebro is a mark, dog. So this is my thing. It's like, why are you talking about all these rappers and they fucking police cases? That's what motherfuckers are already talking about, that he's the police. Because, like, I don't understand. Like, why would the cops seeing you, a radio personality, information about somebody else's case, even though it is a rapper or whatever else it may be. There's been a lot of rappers that have been getting this shit. So why is it you personally getting this information? And that's what I'm not understanding, because he has some type of he's got to have some type of plug with the motherfuckers. Like I say, radio motherfuckers are lame, dog. Like they're really suspect to me. Like I say, Charlemagne's super suspect, and I don't really know who Ebro is, but you know, if you haven't in just as many weeks, it seems like you talking about all these dudes and their cases, and you trying to get them to talk about some shit, and you know, trying to justify. Because I see him like right after that, he brought up something about Fabulous. No, this because I did see some a Twitter thing talking about Fabulous punching somebody. And so he talked about like something like, why are you steadily talking about all these dudes in their case? But I guess if you know you're a radio personality, that is what it is. But ultimately, I say all this to say that I honestly don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, not a feather. That sounds like some old Berlin shit. But again, like I said, you know, I really don't give a fuck, man, because it ties back into what I was talking about earlier when we first kind of got this conversation going, and just saying that if somebody wasn't pushing it in your fucking face, you wouldn't know about it. That's why I say it's been like a long time. I've been stopped really watching the news. Again, like the only news I really get is I watch the little DeFranco dude. I don't really watch the local news. I don't. So that's why I didn't know anything about fuck, man, damn, I was just talking about Max. Like, I'm really tuning all on. Like, I'm on a mission to, like, you know, people always say, "Oh, new year, new me," and that's not has nothing to do with this, because this shit done started, you know, some months back. Like, it has nothing to do with new year, new me. It's just something that I've been slowly working on, you know, daily, improving. You know, a few quality habits repeated daily will build your discipline, and then your discipline is contagious, because once you find some discipline in one particular area, it will start to permeate other aspects of your life. And I think that's kind of what's taking place. You know, once you build a consistent habit and then, you know, you stick with it, it will start to impact other areas of your life. But what happens is when you continue to have negative habits, you know, and that's what causes and leads to failure. So I've been trying to just slowly remove all the negative, all the bullshit that does not affect me, and just really like squeeze it out. Like, I mean, and so if it ain't really necessarily related to something sauce related, or, you know, maybe a topic of conversation that we're having in the den, and my thing with that is like, I really don't want to do too much entertainment talk in the den. I don't want to be that. I don't want to become that type of channel. So I don't really pay a lot of attention to that shit. These rappers, I don't give a fuck about these rappers, man. Like, I wish them all success in what they do, but I really don't. I'm no longer concerned. I don't care about the personal life. I really never was concerned, but you know, you hear a little shit, oh man, I jammed this nigga, what this nigga got going on, because you feel once you listen to something so much, like, motherfuckers believe they built up some relationship with his mother, but what you don't realize, these relationships are fucking one-sided as hell. You know what I'm saying? All right, Rabbit. One-sided as hell, because as you listen to this person's view, this person is never communicating with you. You know, the same way these niggas get obsessed with these video hoes or this other bullshit that they get into. And so I just, you know, sometimes you go through life and you just be fucking going on. And then you don't pay attention, and you realize you get caught up in some stupid ass fucking habits. You'll pick up some dumb ass habits. So as far as what's going on outside of those things, and, you know, some of these other projects that I'm working on behind the scenes and just other things, I really don't give a shit, man, honestly. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got called into the den this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop in the den tonight?
Hey, man, a lot tonight about the gun violence thing, man. It's one of those things that, and first I would like to get credit of my parents on this, man. As far as like violence goes, I think it's a situation where, like, if it's a way that, the only way that I would consider myself using violence against somebody is if, like, I'm protecting myself or family, and I think for society it has to be like that way, because even for the gun laws. I feel like gun laws need to be changed. Um, in order for society to get better, because you can't have consistent school shootings and then nothing be done. Like, there has to be something done about it. But and I was fortunate enough to like grow up in a neighborhood that you know there isn't a whole lot of violence going on, and it's kind of sad because like an old friend of mine, no, female friend of mine, she was talking about how 21st birthday she wanted to have a gun all of a sudden. And I was like, why? Now it's because like the place where she lives and stuff like that, and anybody knows where northern Louisiana, close to Arkansas, mostly KKK around that area. So I mean, I fully understand it, but I guess it's just me. I don't have the conscience to like go up and kill somebody, but if it comes to life or death situation, you got to do what you got to do in this life. So that's just my take on that.
Okay. I appreciate the call, Josh. That's a very good point. We can speak on that, man.
All right, man.
Alrighty. And that's that's the way I try to be. Hey, just violence for protection only. Self, family, and again, I'm probably more protective of others than I am of myself, and that's why I say, I really be trimming. You motherfuckers be talking shit like you're gonna have to start showing a real threat before I'm gonna just get fazed by a bunch of talking. But I'm more so probably reactive if you talk about my people or something like that. Then it's probably more of a problem than I am about myself. But there are times that you just I think I've calmed down. I know I've calmed down 20 times over, but when I was younger, I used to be more like, what the fuck you say? And just ready to start some shit, you know what I mean? For no reason. But that's unfortunate that if you feel like you're in a position to where, you feel like you're in danger or something like that, you constantly, that you have to get yourself a gun. And my thing is like, and I'm not saying, anywhere you go, it's going to be danger. And I'm not saying that. But if you feel like this is the primary thought that's overtaken you, why don't people consider, hey, you know what, maybe this isn't the area that I need to be in. Maybe I need to comments on insults. Yes, I was completely off limits. They act like they ain't there. Oh man, I got something funny I'm gonna talk about here in a minute. I'm talking about the dreads. But why not relocate? Are people more fearful of relocation or more fearful of being in a situation where they could lose their life where they're familiar, or would they rather be afraid to move, or are they more afraid of staying where they are? I mean, I don't understand. Oh no, actually they declined 2017, 2018. I'm telling you, I cut my cousin them off. That was probably 2016. So I probably reached a coon peak in 2015. And then 2016, they were probably about even, and they started declining 17, 18. 2015 was the peak year. That's now if you take away the cousin coons, because those are just reckless coons, then no, because this motherfucker just used the word coon. Like if I like the dude, if I just fuck with those motherfuckers, like I'm telling you, one day, we motherfuckers oblivious anyway. One day I might just live stream a conversation so y'all would understand what I'm talking, because there's no way that I could like, y'all think I'm joking, and I really wish that there was a way, because I don't even got his phone number. I really just when I say I cut some motherfuckers, I cut motherfuckers off. Motherfuckers just shady. I really wish that there was a way that I could show y'all how bad it is. Y'all seen Baker Man in here a couple of times, and he could confirm it. But again, y'all know him as well, not as much as y'all know me. But shit, even Shaq Kush could tell you. But the thing about it is, like, when I say like the words whoop and coon, whoop. If you had a conversation, like, literally, like, when anytime I brought him around, like, niggas like, where whoop at? Like the word whoop, and I'm not trying to be funny, was probably 39% of his vocabulary. And then coon was probably a legitimate 11%. Like I just to say half, I wouldn't even say probably about 8%. You know, and so every 11 words or so was coon, but every 3 to 4 words was whoop, man. I'm having a whoop to the whoop, man. You want to whoop? Oh, you a coon. Come on, let's whoop. Like, no bullshit. Like, and I'm dead serious with you. Like, this is realistic shit. Like, I'm telling you, I had a cousin. He did 15 flat in the pen, man. And, you know, he had got out. And like I said, this little nigga, he did a couple of years when he was younger. And you would think that it would have been reversed. We went to go chill with one of my homegirls. Now, we were there, like I say, just kicking back, having a little sip. And really can't get this motherfucker no alcohol. And there was an older gentleman there, older white guy, probably about in his 60s. She might have been with her late to mid 30s at this point. Then me at this time, I'm in my 30s. My other cousin, he's a little older. Like I say, he did 15 flat. He was a little older than us, so he's probably like early 40s. And Whoop, like, what is Whoop? About 2 years. So he was probably about 28, 29 at this time. And so we go have some drinks. We just chilling, just, you know, it's a cool little vibe. Ain't nobody tripping. Man, kept calling the old white dude my nigga, and the old white guy was like, you know, I understand where you're coming from. I really don't like that word. I've never used it. You know, I kind of appreciate it if he's like, all right, my nigga, I understand. But they're like, come on, I can't take this motherfucker nowhere, dog. Like, you my nigga, man. You my nigga. Like, come on, dude. Just like, do you not have no common sense? You know, you got to whoop. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you did calling the chick a coon. You know, multiple coons. The whole white dude, they think he says if he got called a coon, maybe he caught a couple of stray coons also. You know, and it's just like, man. And then, like I say, this is my other cousin. He probably been out maybe a week or two, you know, and we just cooling. He just like, man, this nigga here tripping. Like, you would think the one that has been cut off from society for fucking 15 years would be the one that would be speaking like that. And, you know, it would be vice versa. But no, man, it's like, I have no idea. I have no fucking idea, because his mom, she's fairly intelligent. She's a working woman, but, you know, and then, I think the power of the mind, man. The power of the mind is a motherfucking thing. He got into some old little head first. Both of them little niggas was head first when they was younger. He got into more shit. And so, like I said, he had to do a little bit of time, a little couple of years. But still, you been out. You been free longer than you was locked up. And being locked up that long don't make you talk like that. Like, I don't know. Again, I have no idea. And again, it seemed like it got worse. I think it was the 40 ounces. Old English and Steel Reserve is what made him talk like that. You know, fucking Steel Reserve, man. You know, you realize it's called 211 Steel Reserve. And what is a 211? A 211 is a robbery. Okay. And steel robbery, however you want to look at it. Reserve, you know, I guess it gives you know the alcohol nuts, so you get the nuts of steel while it's stealing from you. And then it's taking all your reserves. That's what it is. It's burglarizing all your reserves and making your insides feel like steel. But no, that shit is awful. No. See, you got to get it right. You got to understand. Nouns, excuse me. Nouns and verbs are automatically whoop. So a whoop is a whoop to whoop. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a horrible conversation, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd have friends, and they literally like I'd have to translate. Like, these niggas, like, just these street niggas, like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about, man? And like I said, my cousin, like, he was for this shit, because he's like, man, look, if you wasn't my cousin, man, you gotta understand, I just did fucking 15, and you talking crazy like this. I feel like you trying to set me up, man. Like, shit, I'd probably do something bad to your ass. You talking like this, man, because I don't know what the fuck you be talking about. Like, so, you know, you gotta tell a whoop, whoop, whoop. I use my whoop to whoop. Coon. But anyway, I get back to the conversation though. But, you know, talking about violence and talking about things about, you know, are people more afraid of leaving their homes than they are of gun violence? Because, you know, there's a lot of situations. You know, you look at a lot of stuff that goes on in these urban communities and, you know, lower income communities and things like that. You know, I always look at it. You know, it's crazy because then, you know, when you're selling dope and you're doing shit, it's falling in love with a lifestyle. But like, why don't people, you know, motherfuckers be in the hood? They get good money. Why don't niggas ever want to leave? Niggas be sitting on 6 figures, still claiming about, you know, they getting done bad, done this and doing this, and none of those motherfuckers that's really eating, but yet they still stay in the hood. Why not come up out the hood? I wonder why. Do people feel uncomfortable? Do people, you know, do people feel like are they more comfortable in their neighborhoods, or is it more comfortable to floss on motherfuckers you know that ain't got it? Like, what is that position? I wonder why, you know, niggas do that. Why don't niggas want to get up out the hood? And like I say, motherfuckers, they be hustling, doing all that other shit, but it ain't about getting out the fucking hood, man. They don't fucking, I don't know, you can't budge the judge, bud. They don't even let you talk to that motherfucker. Your lawyer can speak for you. You better not say nothing. Shit. Extra 10 years, motherfucker. Who you think you talking to? I'm a magistrate, bitch. All right, so, you know, but again, it is what it is, unfortunate. But here's the deal. I don't know what we got going on. Man, we sit there told them, man. I don't know why Twitter, like, I don't, and this is what I'm saying, man. I'm looking at that shit, that whole Chargers situation. This is not surprising. We literally talked about that in the thing yesterday. Like, it would not surprise me if the Chargers lost out, because the Chargers, because that's the thing that kills me. Is like, we want to continue talking history, and this is the only thing I'm talking sports for the rest of this conversation. Is we want to talk history. We keep talking about, oh, well, Bill O'Brien, you know, this, and he's always been 9-7. Well, why don't we talk about historically with other teams? We only be negative to our own team, because historically the Chargers always start off hot and they fall the fuck off, and that's it. Like, so that's what I expect. If we're going to expect a downfall from the Texans, you might as well expect a downfall from the Chargers. And if we're going historically, expect the Patriots to win, and, you know, all those things. But, you know, like I say, you can't be picking and choosing. You know, Andy Reid got to do what he's deed. So my thing is this, you know, as white people, I don't know, Heidi's a racist. She's an ant basher. She beats on her family, puts them in headlocks and shit. I sink the shit, you know. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Chargers won, and that's my thing. Like, I knew that shit was gonna happen. I knew the fucking not the Chargers. I was talking about the Chargers. I meant the Chiefs. Did I say the Chargers? I meant the Chiefs. That the Chiefs was gonna fucking fall off, because the Chiefs have a history of fucking falling off. I don't know. I guess I must have. I must have said something. I wasn't paying no attention. Yeah, I synced it. I synced that shit. But again, like I say, you know, the Chiefs have a history of falling. They always start off fucking hot and then fall out the pot. You know, so. If we, like I said, if we're gonna have that, if we're gonna go by historic measurements, let's keep everything on par across the board. You know, it looks good now, but when it counts, the Chiefs always end up falling off. So, you know, there's the deal. But, you know, like I say, talking about violence, talking about things, and we'll talk about it for maybe a few more minutes. But jumps and fountains. But, you know, the thing is, like I said, I just start to worry about this country, because I think there's more and more of a divide, and it's happening every day. And this is part of the reason why I say, man, I'm out. Like, I'm starting to distance myself from everything that doesn't matter. And why I say this is because you get caught up in other people's shit, man. You'll start believing the shit, and the shit don't have nothing to do with you. Like, that's why I say, even when we talk about, you know, a lot of issues, you know, with black people, when we talk a lot of issues with violence, we talk a lot of issues with that. Like, I understand. It's like, I'm not oblivious to what goes on and what happens. But ultimately, if the majority of my life, and there's been instances here and there, but the majority of my life, I haven't had to deal with a lot of those circumstances, that I'm not going to go buying and picking up somebody else's problems and lumping those problems when I got my own set of motherfucking problems. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my own issues. I got a lot of shit that I still got to deal with. And, you know, Pet Dental claim Scotty. You know, he needs it. But you know, I got my own issues. And when you go around trying to pick up everybody's problems and you ain't even got your own shit in order, like, you gonna fuck yourself off, man. Like, you gonna fuck yourself off. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, what's up, Honcho? This Ernest, man.
Ernest, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop in the den this evening, man?
Yeah, a couple of things real quick, man. I don't know if you heard about the story where the Canadian government arrested this Chinese CEO of like a huge tech company, and the Chinese government, you know, called for a release, blah, blah, blah. Really, you know, don't know why they picked her up. But so they turned around and arrested 2 Canadians in China.
What?
The reason I'm mentioning this is because when you look at, bro, what happened with black people in particular, right, whether it's the shootings, the mass incarceration, whatever it may be, is going to, bruh, why don't they do that to the Chinese here? Why they don't do that to the Russians here? Because they got governments, bro, that if it get too crazy, that's going to step in on their behalf and be like, hey, man, you need to pump the brakes. You're going too far. And I thought that was interesting. That's why I wanted to use that story to make a point, because when I look at us, bro, like, and I do agree with you, is, bro, I try not to make everything a black and white issue, because my thought process is much more broader than that, because it's really bigger than black and white, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, when I look at certain things, I think it's more so about classism at the end of the day. Yeah, racism exists, but the people at the top, man, they care about that money, man. They care about power, and they'll manipulate any and everybody they can to stay on top. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at, bro, is that when I look at what's happening, bro, like when you talk about the violence, like it's kind of sad, bro, you know, because a lot of us don't realize that we been played. You know, it's kind of like what Malcolm said back in the day when he said, you've been robbed, you've been had, you've been hoodwinked. You know, it's the same thing today, bro, because, and it's all for money, bro. It's all for the fame. And that's what Tupac say, the money and the fame made us all change places, meaning you started out good, but then you wanted the fame, you wanted the notoriety, you wanted the money, you wanted to make it big, and you was willing to sell your soul and compromise everything just to be in the limelight. Now, that's just a small angle of what goes on to a degree, but on the aspect of violence, again, bro, we all got a God-given right to defend ourselves, man. What tripped me out is these gun-toting people, bruh. Meaning, if you take their gun away, they wouldn't even run their mouth, man. Mm-hmm. But they hide behind that gun, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what tripped me out. Like, I believe everybody, every man, woman, and child, if you eligible, like, you don't have to be a gun supporter, but you should own a firearm, bruh. Because just for self-defense purposes, bro. Like, bro, we live in a crazy world now. Like, you can be at the gas station, pumping your gas. Man, something could get popped out real quick. So, in my humble opinion, you need to keep something close by. But you gotta, you know, you gotta be willing to defend yourself, especially men, bro. Because if it's one type of dude I really can't fool with, is a coward, man. Hey, I'll tell you this real quick. When I was younger, I cut my own brother off, bro. When we was younger, they had 2 dudes. They hopped out the car. Man, one dude walked my brother. He walked. My brother ain't want to fight. I'm fighting this other dude. Next thing you know, bruh, I look around. The dude my brother was fighting is coming for me. So now I'm fighting this dude. I'm fighting two dudes at one time. Bruh, I stopped fooling with my own flesh and blood because he left me by myself, bro.
Yeah.
And this is something I try to tell my sons to this day, that you can't have weak people around you. Now, don't get me wrong. You can't have foolish, hot-headed people around you neither, because they'll get you caught up too. But at the end of the day, you got, you got to have heart, man. If you ain't willing to defend yourself, how you gonna be willing to defend and protect your wife or your children if push come to shove? So that's my angle when it comes like to violence. Like, I just think we all should be willing to use our Second Amendment right to bear arms, stay away from being criminalized, because they will take that right away from you, and just do you. But anyway, bro, that's what I got, man. I hang up the list.
Already, man. Ernest, another great call, man. Ernest, like I say, always drop some good knowledge, man. Appreciate the call. A couple of points on there, man. Definitely want to discuss some of those things. One of those things being, that was interesting. I heard about the CEO, the Chinese chick, and I heard about that situation. Now, I remember it was something about some bail or something. I think she's like the CEO of Huawei, whatever that shit is, that phone company. They were alleging that those people were tapping into a lot of American, phones, getting a lot of American data and shit like that, and spying and giving that information to the Chinese government. And if they were, well, so be it. And I know they got caught a while back talking about they were filming a commercial saying that their camera was so good, but if you look in the commercial, you can see that they were using like a DSLR camera or some shit like that. It really wasn't a phone camera. But that's interesting that the way the Chinese, they look, them motherfuckers don't be with that shit. They all know karate, so they're gonna retaliate. And so they arrested 2 Canadians in China. That's interesting because Canadians are generally not aggressive people, eh? They're very good people, eh? But you're saying, about it being bigger than black and white, being more classism, and I definitely agree. I think, a lot of it starts, the black and white makes it obvious. It's just an easier way to decipher. But I think that also in certain situations, we make ourselves easier targets too. But again, it is classism, and I agree with that, because you got a lot of, if you took the visual away and you listen to some niggas, you listen to some white folks, some Mexicans, whatever it may be, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. See, there's some Asians out there sounding like this shit. I've seen that little nigga in New York that he sound like a nigga. You know what I'm saying? There was another point you were saying that got the right to protect ourselves, man. Yeah, and that's ultimately what it comes down to, man. You only got one. You got one fucking life, man, and you better live that bitch to the maximum. In the same way you want to protect it, you want to live it. But absolutely, if you ain't gonna protect yourself, you're not gonna protect your family. You're not gonna protect your loved ones or whatever situation you're in, and you ain't lying about the motherfucker pull up on you at the gas station. Motherfuckers will think you somebody from behind. That's such and such right there. Shoot you and kill you. And be like, oh, that wasn't even that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'm telling you, like, this shit happen all the time. Motherfuckers. What am I thinking? I'm a nigga from New Orleans or something. Say, what are you? Nah, nigga, I ain't the one. Third Coast born. I mean, we Texas raised. Everybody should have a gun, and I agree with that. But man, the story that you talked about your brother there, real interesting, because it makes me think of a situation we had in high school, and it was partially our fault. We was just doing some stupid shit, because we was just dumb. And it is Christmas time. Did I ever tell y'all the stories about the minorities that stole Christmas? The minorities stole Christmas. No, but the minorities that stole Christmas. Look, we was broke, so we was wrecking havoc. So that's another conversation. I'm gonna say that for y'all. Hold on, we got a call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in the den this evening?
What up, Honcho? This is Jay Dizzle.
Jay Dizzle, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop in the den this evening?
I was just reacting a little bit to that last caller. What's his name, Ernest?
Yeah, that was Ernest.
I disagree with what Ernest did.
What specifically you disagree with?
He shouldn't have cut his brother off, man.
Okay. Well, why you feel that way?
He should have whooped that nigga ass every time that nigga got the chance. That's what the fuck he should have did. If that was my brother, man, nah, nigga, you not supposed to come out here and represent me and my family and be some old puss-ass nigga, man. You gonna have to square up with me until you just get fucking tired of fighting, my nigga. and then you fight back. No, man. Hell no. I got that PA mentality, man.
Yeah.
That shit is deeply ingrained within me. We some fight motherfuckers. Now, we ain't been showing that a lot of lately with all these fucking shootings that be going on back home.
Yeah.
But, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes the game fucked up.
Yeah.
And the game is always fucked up, so. But, I've been listening to a few of your opinions and shit. I got a few things.
All right.
Number one, and I know this might be controversial to some people, I don't think it's enough fucking violence. I think that's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't mean gun violence. I mean hand-to-hand motherfucking combat.
Yeah.
Because all this shit about no fighting, no bullying and shit. Look, bullying is fucked up. It is. But, I mean, shit, that's what made a lot of us motherfuckers the way we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got bullied when I was a kid because I was a little nigga. I'm a big nigga now, but I was a little nigga. So I done took way more L's than I took W's in the fight. By far and away. But I'm not scared to fight a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got to get that fear of defending yourself. You got to get yourself out of that, man. The only way you can do it is by getting into the situation. You don't know how you react. You don't learn a lot of shit until you actually start doing it. You don't know shit about fucking until you start fucking.
Yeah.
Same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look at it like that. I think it need to be more fighting going on. Fuck all that bullshit. Now the gun violence, that shit's senseless because you trying to end people's life.
Yeah.
A fight is you just trying to prove a point. It's a difference. It's a total fucking difference than locking somebody up and then they getting out or giving them the fucking electric chair. That's two completely different things, man.
Yeah.
One of them, you're just trying to teach somebody a lesson or learn a lesson your damn self. And so, shit, I fought my people growing up, you know what I'm saying? My kinfolk. And sometimes it wasn't over an argument we had. They was fighting just to test my motherfucking gangster. See if I had some heart.
Yeah.
Will he fight me back? And, of course, they was always bigger than me. I grew up fighting motherfuckers bigger than me. So somebody else that's bigger than me now, I still ain't barring that nigga. You gonna see me regardless. I don't give a fuck if you Shaq size.
Yeah.
I will bust your big ass in the mouth, my nigga, straight up if you disrespect me. Now, another thing that you said, and I'm on the same line, like when you get older, man, you start to look at shit a little different. Because I was a hothead. Like, you know, I'll be fucking with people, how they be saying shit about Port Arthur. Nigga, you would have caught me about 10, 15 years ago, and you said something about my city, my nigga, you going to have to fight me for real. When I swear to God, bro, when Pimp C said that shit, nigga, if you say my name, bitch, you going to have to smell my cologne.
Yeah.
Nigga, I was living by that, bro. I was giving out my, nigga, it was so bad, nigga, I'm playing niggas online. I'm giving niggas my real address to come to my house and see me, nigga.
Yeah.
You gonna talk all this disrespectful shit, you gonna have to come see me. After a while, you just start to get it like, man, that shit's stupid. What the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I heard a bunch of niggas getting killed over this bullshit. I don't want to die over no motherfucking video game, man. That's retarded. So
Yeah.
you have to, you know what I'm saying? That just comes with growth and maturity.
Yeah.
That's just all that pretty much is, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think motherfuckers need to do more fighting and less shooting. If motherfuckers got a problem, shit, grab them two niggas, put them in the ring, and put some gloves on. Let them fight till they get tired. Either you gonna fight or you gonna make up. But once the fight over, it's over with. That's the way it is. That's how we handle shit in my family to this day.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if it's the female. Shit, we got pink gloves at the high. We'll strap both of their ass up, put their ass out in the backyard, and let their ass go at it. And they grown as fuck, got kids and all that.
Yeah.
Y'all boxing, but after it's over with, it's over with. Don't bring this shit up. It's over with. And that's how we handle shit. We ain't got to go to no gun violence or nobody pulling up on nobody else. Nah. Come to the highest real quick. We'll get this shit squashed real proper. Like, I don't even need to know what the fuck it's about. I don't care.
And
But
that's
y'all
how it
not
should
supposed to
be.
go out here and be on some bullshit with each other because we family. We ain't finna do that. Now, unless you just do something that's just completely over the top. You know, that's a whole nother issue. But, I mean, shit, just regular-ass disputes? Nah, man, y'all could box that out, my nigga.
Yeah, straight
Cut
up.
all the bullshit out. But the problem now is motherfuckers is scared of taking an ass whooping.
Man.
And the reason they so scared of taking an ass whooping is because this new internet culture, man, because the shit don't die down. Back then, if you took an ass whipping, the only people that saw it was the people that was around. Now motherfuckers got these cameras on their phones. They can put that shit up and motherfuckers from the whole other side of the world can see you get your ass whooped. So now it's a pride thing. Motherfuckers is too prideful to take that ass whooping. So they go get a gun and try to kill a motherfucker. That's exactly what this shit started. Motherfuckers wasn't bringing guns to school. Well, yeah, they was when I was little, but it wasn't that bad. They wasn't going up there shooting niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it ain't. I ain't gonna be racist, but shit, it's these little punk ass kids. Man, I ain't gonna say white kids. Don't show us a black kid somewhere that done this shit, even though I ain't heard of it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's one somewhere that we just ain't heard about.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is you doing? You can't go to your parents. You can't go to your teachers because they won't do nothing, so the school won't do nothing. So now you feel you got to go take matters in your own hand. Your daddy a crazy motherfucking conspiracy theorist, got a whole locker full of fucking AR-15s and fucking sniper rifles and shit. So you go in there and borrow his shit because he done showed you the combination in case the government try to come for his guns. He want his son to put his life on the line just so this motherfucker get the right to own a fucking gun that the government don't want him to own, which is stupid. Don't even get me started on that fucking tangent.
Yeah.
That's dumb as hell. And then what I don't get about that, I'm going to say it. Fuck it. I'm going to get on that. Well, motherfucking gun nuts, and I own a gun myself, but I'm not a gun nut. Well, motherfuckers don't understand it. I'd be damned if you come to my house and take my guns. I'd die for my guns. You really think that you finna take the government on? If you really think that you can take the government, you obviously don't know how tanks work. There ain't a gun that you got in that cabinet that's gonna do shit to an armored vehicle, bro. So just go on, give it up. If the government wants to take this motherfucker over and put everybody in one fucking small room, bro, we gonna die fighting them.
Yeah.
Straight up. Well, I don't want to die for you motherfuckers. I'm sorry. No, that gun ain't that fucking important to me. It's just not. I only got it so crazy motherfuckers can't come fucking with me.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the government. The government ain't fucking with me more than they do with, they do what they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, people nowadays, bro, they lost their motherfucking mind. I don't know what's going on with folks. They watching this news and then coming up with this fake news shit. What the fuck you mean fake news? Ain't no such thing as fake news. It's either the lie or it's either the truth or it's a lie. Ain't no such thing as fake news, bro. That's it. You can believe what you want to believe, but the truth is out there. It's either one version, one person's side, the other person's side, but the truth is normally somewhere in the middle, between the two. It's up to you to decipher what's real and what ain't real. And there's so much fake shit, and a lot of people don't understand. You could come up with proof for any fucking argument on the internet, because there's other crazy motherfuckers just like you typing shit and posting it. But you think that that's proof because somebody else think the same way that you do, when I can find the same shit on my side of the argument. And you just put it together, it don't solve nothing. So the best thing you could do is use your fucking head and some common sense. And realize sometimes if this shit is really worth it. If it's not, then go on about your fucking life, bro. If it's not affecting your family, your health, or your wealth, it ain't that fucking important, bro. That simple. And if people just live by that motto, man, everything would go just the way it's supposed to go. Exactly. Straight like that.
Straight up, man. Straight up, man. Shout out to Jay Dizzle, man. I have to completely agree with you on that one, man. You spilled a lot of sauce on that. I got plenty I want to speak on that one. That's gonna keep the den going for another 10. But definitely, right, man. Appreciate the call. Right, already.
All right.
So some very, very valid points there, man. Very, very valid points. We got plenty to talk about on that one, man. That was funny though. That was funny. I was wondering where he was going first. I was about to say, I know Jay this ain't finna say this nigga need to apologize and just keep family first. And somebody need to whoop his ass. I agree. That definitely. I'll get back to the minorities that stole Christmas in a bit, but I might have to say that for tomorrow or something. But here's the deal, man. Very, very, a bunch of good points, though. And I agree, man. Hey, maybe if you did, you see him every time you fight him, maybe, if that situation never occurred again, maybe, like you say, to build that heart up. Yeah, and you're going to take some L's, man. Like, shit, I done took some L's. It is what it is, man. If you don't take no L's, you will never prevail. If you've been winning your whole life, you ain't really been winning. If you've never taken an L, that means you ain't really stepped outside the bar. You ain't never stepped into the ring. You've always been on the outskirts. You know what I'm saying? You've always been on the sideline. You've been in the stands. And that's the motherfuckers that kill me, because those are the motherfuckers that talk the most shit, because I talked about now motherfuckers don't want to fight anymore because, you got the internet and that shit lives forever and everybody got something to say. And it kills me because it's the motherfuckers who have the least value in the situation, the least amount of value, bring the least amount to the table, got the most to fucking say. Motherfuckers who would never get into the mix, never get into a scrap, would never fucking disrespect somebody publicly. These motherfuckers be pimple faced it and in their mama basement. You know what I'm saying? Talking about shit online. I kick his ass. I know 5 levels of BJJ and karate, and I am a Muay Thai master. I fought Bruce Lee in a dark room one time and I won, but I didn't want anybody to see it. You know, it'll be these motherfuckers talking the most motherfucking shit and keeping the shit perpetuated or talking the most shit like that's what I say. That's the internet is good and bad. And that's why I say I'm on some heavy filtration right now, and that is all the bullshit. If it does not help, and then I get away from it. And it's hard because, you know, using different social media platforms, you can easily get caught up. All you have to do is go there, slip up, be on that profile. You'll start catching shit. So I have to catch myself and get out of that. Talk about Port Arthur. Port Arthur niggas do be fighting. I remember when spent a fucking summer or two in Port Arthur, man. I don't know. I probably got about 3 or 4 fights out there, fucking around, just on some. One minute we playing some football and some, oh, that's just your brother, whatever, from wherever. So we got into a scrap, nigga. And shit, it is what it is. I ain't gonna say I won them all. I ain't gonna say I lost the ball. But it's just shit. You gonna be fighting, man. You gotta fight it. It is what it is, man. And I agree now that that's part of the problem. Is like motherfuckers don't want to take the L. Motherfuckers would rather take a life sentence and take a loss. And not realizing that's a loss because they're afraid they pride gonna be whatever it is. And like I say, man, you gotta fucking fight. I mean, it's just gonna be a situation. You just gonna fight every time. And like I say, it was situations back home. They said you just gonna fight. Look, okay, this situation ain't go as planned. Well, we gonna fight. This situation go, we gonna fight every time we fucking see each other. We gonna get it in. But what's gonna happen, honestly, 9 times out of 10, you know, depending on how you build, you're gonna either be the one or the two. But what I'm saying is that you go and get in with a motherfucker, man, and you beat their ass one good time, man. Watch how personalities and attitudes change, motherfucker. You once you beat somebody ass, you beat they motherfucking ass good one good time. Motherfuckers will become your best friend. Hey man, what's up, buddy? How you doing today, man? I got an extra bag of Cheetos. You want one? Like motherfuckers will be your buddy, man. And I'm telling you, like you get into enough altercations, you beat some ass a couple of times. If it's too even, y'all motherfuckers gonna bump heads every time. If a motherfucker feel like he got the dub and you feel like you got it, y'all gonna bump heads every motherfucking time. But you stomp a mud hole in a motherfucker, shit, it's gonna be a wrap. That motherfucker gonna be your #1 fan after that, I promise you. Let me say, smell my cologne. That shit had me dying. That was about shit right there, nigga. You gonna smell my cologne? Let's see. And he was talking about not knowing shit about bullying and not enough violence. And I can agree with that. Because I talked about, you know, how I feel like, you know, with all these motherfuckers, people want to stop bullying. And you know, I got beef with Toro because Toro on that stop bullying. Shit, nigga, you a bull. How you gonna stop bullying? What kind of stupid shit is that? But, you know, with the bullying thing is because it's like, it doesn't make sense, man. Like, kids need to go through some tough times, okay? They need to go through some situations. And these parents who come up there defending them and trying to protect them from the world, man, you're not going to always be there to protect these motherfuckers. They need to learn how to overcome obstacles. And school is an area where they can, it's a controlled area, controlled environment for the most part, till the motherfucker come in that bitch doing some nonsense. But it's a controlled environment for the most part. And if you got to see that motherfucker every day, eventually the motherfucker gonna get some nuts that he gonna fucking get picked on every motherfucking day. That shit made me think about, what was that that Jade video where that little girl, they kept fucking with that little girl that bitch, even beat the brakes off that bitch. That's what it is half the time. Most of these motherfuckers, they be picking and talking shit because they got a little entourage behind them, and they motherfucking me, you know, bumping their gums and shit. And then, you know, once you work one of them motherfuckers over, look, that whole entourage gonna be cool with you. They don't want no smoke. It's all fucking good. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I say, I do agree that there should be more violence. Matter of fact, I remember I had a partner for a while. He told me that back in he's like, back in high school, them niggas used to have beef, and I was like, I wish they would have done that shit in back school. That would have solved a lot of problems. That the coach used to, when they had beef at football practice, they used to strap up the gloves afterwards and have to go get it in. I want to say he was at Lincoln. I think that's where he said he went to. But you know, it is what it is, man. The gun nut conspiracy shit, that shit was fucking hilarious. That shit was hilarious because that's how motherfuckers be. Goddamn it, you won't come and take it with the little fuck. What's on the come and take it side, the little cannon or whatever, Or the fucking, what's that? Is it the snake? I don't know. I be getting all that shit. Like, I'm not no fucking flag worshiper, dog. So I don't be in all that shit. But that shit be funny to me, dog. You know, fucking the gun nuts. It is, and that's what I'm saying. Like, some of that shit kills me because it's like, I'll be like, what, y'all motherfuckers think y'all John Wick or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, y'all been watching too many movies. Like, I'm sure you get a rush, you know, you get a thrill, you know, popping off your shit. And I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. You feel the power that you'll never have as a man. You know, you got your supplemental situation. I'm not knocking it. You know, some motherfuckers cold blooded with that shit. Some motherfuckers, you know, they got the juice. But you got a lot of these motherfuckers. It be some old, like, nigga, you need to just go hit the gym. Quit trying to supplement your masculinity with some fucking guns because you halfway cuckoo and shit, you know. Yeah, it's poured off the Memorial now. Yeah, they got rid of the other two and combined them. But my thing is, like, you know, stop with all the nonsense, because half these motherfuckers be gun nuts, be alcoholics and everything else. You only gonna make it through your first clip and it's gonna be over for you if you get that out of there. They gonna wipe your ass out. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if you're a collector, if you're a hobbyist, you know, do your thug thing, whatever makes you happy. You know. But like I heard saying, you know, keep something on you, man. You gotta keep something on you, because you just never know. But it, you know, it is what it is. But I think some people be supplementing other situations with their gun collection, you know. But it floats your boat up. Motherfuckers got the big ass gun collection, wife over there fucking cheating on them. They can't figure out why. Well, there's a reason for that, buddy. You mad want to shoot the wife and the boyfriend because you over there masturbating to your firearms and shit. But anyway, it is what it is. No fake news, and I agree with you on that. You either telling lies or you telling the truth, and you know, like they say, the truth is there's three sides to a story. You know, this person's side, that person's side, and the truth. So it is what it is, man. I agree with that. Let me see. And yeah, about the thing about the arguments on the internet, and that's the crazy thing, man. And that's why I say I try my best not to get into the echo chambers. I don't want to hear what I want to hear. Like, I need to hear some shit that, man, I was fucking wrong about that. I need to hear some shit that said, man, you know, well, I feel right about what I'm saying, but, you know, that information sounds legitimate enough for me to look into it to see if that is what it could possibly be. Like, I'm not somebody here just to continue to say the same shit because it sounds good. And I think that's where, like, I look at other people and I say, I look at the channel. I think about the channel often. I think about, you know, Sauce more and what I need to do with that. But because the den, you know, just where it's at right now and just trying to understand how I can make it grow. But I like what we got here in the den, you know. But I look at other YouTubers now, you know, and it's like, it's not hard to figure out their formula. It's not hard to do what they do. It's not hard to, if I want to emulate what they're doing. But it wouldn't be me. It's not genuine. You know what I'm saying? And say, Honcho, make a return. Yeah. Maybe we'll do something, probably not on New Year's. I'm actually going to do something on New Year's. But maybe around, we'll see, maybe around Christmas time. So we'll see what's up. We'll see what's happening. But again, you know, the situation is like, I look at these things, but what it is that people want channels where they can get their beliefs reinforced and then their ego stroked and all this shit. Like, cause I've been looking at a lot of this shit lately. Cause I've been looking into the, what do they call that shit? The red pill shit, the manosphere. And, you know, at first I look at something, okay, some of this stuff is interesting. There's some very interesting information. Then some of that shit is fucking lame, dog. Like, yeah, there's certain commonalities and things, but when these motherfuckers start trying to, you know, using these like to try to sound cool about, like, no, you either fucking hoes or you're not. And that's what it comes down to. Well, you know, they get mad at women. Like, I'm not mad at women. You know, I talk my shit because, you know, everything needs to be relegated to its place. You know, motherfuckers put women way up high on the path, but I'm not mad at women. You know, I like having sex with women. I enjoy the company of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is cool, but ultimately, look, hey, when it come down to it, I'm trying to kick it with a bitch that, you know, fucks up. If I'm not talking about outside of my relationship, I'm not talking about infidelity. I'm just talking about as a whole. Like, niggas is cool, but niggas act like bras nowadays. Somebody will be with a real bra and try to get some hype out the shit. You know what I'm saying? So just I look at this stuff and just some of the shit they do, it just like it kills me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, one, y'all trying to, you know, these dudes who just sign up for, you know, this and that. It's like, y'all gonna tell another man tell you what kind of hoes you supposed to be fucking and what kind of hoes you supposed to like and like all this other shit. Like, man, you kiss my ass, dog. Like, that shit is fucking lame. But again, it's that echo chamber. Yeah, you know, well, she's a hot body 10 and, you know, this and that. And so it's like, but you're not fucking none of these hoes. Like, you're not fucking the 1s, the 5s, the 10s. Y'all just over here saying this bullshit. Y'all over here finding these hoes who minding their own business or trying to create their own thing, and it may be whack as fuck, which it is, but ain't nobody telling you to wife that bitch. Let that bitch do whatever the fuck she doing, and you over here complaining about the hoes. Like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is fucking lame. Like, go do some real man shit instead of sitting here trying to analyze hoes all day. Like, you either fucking with the bitch or you're not fucking with the bitch. I mean, that's really that. If you more concerned with a hoe than that, then if she's not of benefit, if she's not of, you know, affecting your situation, why are you worried about the bitch? Like, that shit is not manly at all. So like I said, I'm just looking at echo chamber, looking at different things. I'm just like, man, I can't do it. I like variety. I don't want to talk about the same thing every day, day in and day out. You know, and there is occasional woman bashing. That's just, again, like I say, you know, kick the chair from under them from time to time. You can't put them on the pedestal. But it's not, I don't hate women. We get on my nerves some goddamn time, but it is what it is. But I talk the same amount of shit as the same amount of shit about niggas as I'm gonna talk about females. So it is what it is. Let me can rate a woman a 1 to 10. Like, but see, that's what I'm saying, because motherfuckers here's maybe I'm different because looks are important, I guess. But like, can I deal with you for more than 10 seconds? Like, can I deal with you for, like, if you have like an annoying voice, I don't want to be around a motherfucker. If you got nothing to talk about interesting, I don't really want to be around a bit. Like, it's a lot of factors that go into it. To me, you finna smash, we ain't finna talk. Look, we gonna burn something and we gonna get it in and get on. Or I really don't want to fuck with you. I don't really don't want to, like, it's different levels for me. But again, you know, maybe I'm just a different breed. Maybe I see shit differently. But I mean, I'm saying all this, I'm happy in my current relationship. I'm just saying, it's just dealing with hoes. I'm just thinking about Honcho when I was a free range Honcho, you know, how I operated and, you know, my behavior and things like that. Or when I was a bad Honcho, when I shouldn't have been free range, but I was still free ranging. So I'm just looking at shit like that. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm just looking at, like I say, you know, there's certain things I can and can't do involved in this channel. But again, and like he ended it with, say, if it don't affect your family, your health, and your money, then the shit is irrelevant. And that is, I completely agree on that, you know, because that's ultimately what the fuck it is. But here is the deal, my friends. Here is the deal, mi amigos y amigas. Hell no. I'm saying, look, we ain't even in the same vicinity. Trust me, I'll say the same thing, Lady Honcho around or not. Like, that's a key. That is part of the rules. Anyway, the door's this way. I'll look at this way. This is the other fucking screen, so I can see what's going down. But, you know, we're gonna get ready to wind it down. I think I'm gonna go to Taco Bell. I'm just fucking with y'all. I'm not going to Taco Bell. I'm gonna take my ass to bed. But on some real shit, you know, I appreciate y'all, man. I fucked with y'all. Thank y'all for fucking with another den. Appreciate everybody who called in, man. Some very good calls, man. Make sure y'all look on the gram, because I've been getting back to putting the calls back on the gram and things. So I did the calls from not yesterday but the day before. I put those up today, so I'll put the calls from yesterday up tomorrow, and then like these calls I'll probably put up on Saturday, and just keeping it pumping like that, man. We'll probably be getting the den tomorrow. Like I said, I need to get back consistent with the den, so we'll probably be in the den tomorrow. Make sure, you know, same den time, same den channel. Again, if y'all ever have suggestions, I'll maybe make sure I drop the little screen on there. Have a little player. Y'all can join the Den Facebook group. I think that's the Den page, but the Den page has a link to the Den Facebook group, Den Twitter, Instagram, Den Show Live, and y'all already know where the fucking YouTube is, because this is where you're watching it. So, with that being said, my friends, I'm about to slide about this bitch. Kenneth Mark ass has been gone, so I'm going to politely escort y'all out the door. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. Again, another great conversation. Adios. I'm out.